Just checking.
I haven't got the notification yet. Usually I get it when we're live. It's like 10 seconds usually, right? There it goes. I just got it.
Okay, I want to make sure we're live on YouTube too.
Yeah, that's the one for Facebook, I think. Yeah, I just got the Facebook one.
Facebook's live and is YouTube live?
That one I can't tell. I don't get a notification for YouTube. I don't know why.
Oh, we're live. Okay, sorry, everybody. Welcome. I just had to confirm that it was a little bit of a.
We didn't want to talk to nothing.
Talk to nothing. Welcome. It is Wednesday here on Live Long and Podcast, and that means we're covering Star Trek: The Original Series here with my dad, Ted. How you doing, Dad?
Good.
And joined by esteemed panelist Jody Simpson. How are you, Jody?
I'm good.
And we're talking about the original series, season 2, episode 12, I Mud, which is the second appearance of Harry Mudd, which aired in 1967 first. So this was whoa, what an episode this was. I had forgotten how incredible. This is not quite like the first Harry Mudd episode. This is a different vibe to it. So a lot to unpack tonight. We're also hoping Jeff Mader is going to join us, but we'll see if he's back. He was having some technical difficulties but we'll see. He could pop in here to give his opinion. But this was a lot going on in this episode. And Dad, is your preferred Harry Mudd episode? Do you like this one better than the
No, I like the other one better.
You like the other one better?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is a good one, I don't know. I just like the first one because Harry Mudd's women, that was a classic.
But that was human trafficking. We established that was human trafficking in the first podcast.
Yeah.
No, Jody did. Jody did decide.
It was. I don't think I established it. I think they established it in 68.
Those were space aliens, I think.
They weren't. I don't know. Maybe, perhaps. They didn't quite get into that.
I guess it's open to interpretation.
Open to
either
way. Yeah, maybe alien trafficking, but still, it was. This was more just androids and who were going to take over the galaxy. So I feel like Harry Mudd is more of a good guy, not a good guy, but not a villain, maybe, or he's
half and half. Half the episode he's a villain, half the episode he's a hero.
Right.
I think. Yeah.
But this whole Kirk and his senior staff outwitting the androids that dominates the second half of the episode. And it is something else. I've never seen them. Spock even. Spock was like a different person.
Yeah.
He was out. They were thinking the computer to death. This is Kirk's go-to move, as we know. But yeah, Jody, your thoughts on I Mudd?
I don't have the same opinion that Ted has. This is between the two episodes. I think this is the better episode of the Mudd, whatever we want to call it, trilogy or. Actually, it's only 2 appearances, right?
The duology.
Yeah, the duology. I guess
there's only the 2. There's only these 2 Harry Mudd episodes, and
this is a better. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just one more animated series.
That's right. There was an animated.
If you count it, but it is canon, so you can count it.
All right. So trilogy, I guess we'll just say. I don't think we're ever going to cover the animated one, so at this point, we'll just leave it at duology. Right. But never say never. But I guess my biggest problem with this episode really is almost everything. It's not a good episode. I don't know why people when I read some of the reviews, people are pretty happy with this episode, and it's I don't get it. I found everybody was out of character. Uhura's out of character. Everybody's out of character on this episode. Which I guess is a little bit of the circumstance, I guess. But the thing that bothers me the most is we have an advanced civilization that can make human-like androids that have a hive mind, but they can be outwitted by basically a loop. A loop of information. This doesn't compute, and I can't get it, and now I'm going to break down and shut down. I don't get it. The only thing really good about this episode was Harry's wife. I felt that was some nice hijinks to have in the episode.
Mud.
Yeah, Mud's wife was definitely the star of the show in this episode, in my
Stella,
opinion.
right? It's
Stella, yeah, Stella. Yeah,
You put me through Hella.
well, and you know what? That kind of makes sense because she doesn't sound like a very fun woman to be with, but Harry Mudd's also an ass, so kind of makes sense.
Right. Just taking this down. Okay, so yeah, like I thought that as Harry, there is an episode of the Star Trek the Animated Series which very much follows this series. It's kind of like the 4th season of the show.
Yeah,
and it's called Mudd's Passion, and this is
look at him there.
That's and I believe he was.
It's a pretty good artistic rendition of him.
Yeah, I believe he was still voiced by the same actor.
Oh, really? Okay, that's good.
Right? Yeah. They brought him back, so he did go on to voice this character in the animated series. And Dad, I don't know if you know this, but there's this version of Harry Mudd from Star Trek Discovery, which is played by Rainn Wilson.
Is that the same guy?
It's the same character. But this is from like about 10 years before.
No, I don't recognize it.
Yeah, well, he's got a beard instead of a mustache at this point.
Yeah,
but he's a very different. It's a very different person to me, Jody. Do you find that this Rainn Wilson resembles this version of Harry Mudd that in this episode and even the other one?
Unfortunately, I can't comment on that because I didn't get that far into Discovery. But if anyone can pull off a Mudd, it's going to be Rainn Wilson. For sure.
Rainn Wilson's a talented guy, yeah. But it's to me, it's a much more sinister version of the character.
I can tell by just the screenshot. Yes, definitely. He looks like he's a little bit more hardcore than the more whimsical version that we get from the original series.
Right. Yeah, he's a much more like roguish guy. But we get to meet the younger Stella as well. Harcourt Fenton Mudd, you've been drinking again. Ooh.
Yeah, she's on his ass every time they open that door.
Yeah, he's like, why did he make this android of his wife? I didn't understand.
Yeah, like if you're going to get harassed by your wife, like why would you make an android version of your wife to harass you? Like you've gotten away now. Like why would you create that? If it's such troubled waters for you to begin with, why would that make any sense to do that?
Yeah, Stella.
I guess maybe something to remind him of home. I guess. I don't know. I think a commissioned painting might have been a better idea.
Right. Okay. Just to cover the episode too, I just want to get back to the fact that this is a whole about this android. Is it Herman? Or Norman? Is that the lead android that takes over takes over the ship at the beginning? He's dressed as a science officer. I can't remember where they said they picked him up or how he got on the ship, but he's somehow there now.
And the only one who seems to understand that he's something weird about him is Bones.
Right.
Bones is like, something's not right about that guy. He doesn't ever smile, and he's always doing the same shit over and over and over again.
Yeah,
it's like,
he's been an infiltrator for a while. But what happens is, he takes over the whole ship. He kind of goes on this like Terminator-esque rampage throughout the ship, taking over, and then basically, but it's a kind of an intense action episode for the first little bit of it, for the first act.
Yeah, there's a lot of people getting thrown around and shot around and everything. So I would agree with that.
Dad, did you like that part with when Norman's taking over the ship or the android guy?
Yeah, I never liked Andrew. I never liked that guy.
No.
Not until he got burned up at the end.
That was the highlight for you?
I can't tell you a lie, but I'm lying.
Yeah. He can't tell a lie like George Washington.
Yeah.
Right. And he was his fatal. Yeah. Again, like Landru, like many others. Kirk just talks them to death, but they all jump in for this one. But yeah, in the beginning, he's just wrecking them. He takes over the whole engineering section. He takes over Kirk over the bridge. He says, I got the whole thing wired. And then he goes to sleep for 4 days, standing up there on the bridge. And they have no choice but to go on this thing.
Now,
right?
The best thing about that is when you see who is it? Is it? I think it's Chekhov that comes in. Chekhov comes in and he's like, every time Chekhov gets onto the bridge, he's like kind of spooked out a little by him. It's kind of funny.
Yeah,
I like
they almost run into
I
him.
like that little thing they threw in. Yeah, they forget he's like a fixture basically, right?
He's been
So
there
they
for 4 days.
Yeah,
And Kirk's just pissed, right? But could they not have called like another Starfleet ship to come in and maybe assist somehow?
Well, this is the Dave. It's something I've pushed since we've started doing a lot of different Star Trek stuff, and I've always pushed that Star Trek convenience factor because there's always that convenience factor. There's always just that ship, or there's always only this one available. Oh, we got our friend here. Hopefully,
Jeff's try. He might join. We'll see if he lasts here. Jeff, are you with us?
We're eagerly awaiting him.
He may not be aware of us, but we're aware of him.
His
Fair
microphone's not working or something.
Yeah, he's having some big issues right now.
Well, he's in a new studio.
He's in a new studio. It's new digs.
He's gotta work out some bugs.
Yeah.
You hear him? Oh, I can hear him. I can hear you. You're a little low, but I can hear you. Anyway, let's keep going while Jeff gets things boosted up here.
I can't hear a word he says.
You can't hear me?
A little bit.
Oh, much better now. Yeah, much better. Yeah,
I turned it up. Yeah.
Yeah, you're almost your normal now. Yeah.
Okay.
Jeff,
all right. Yes.
are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. And
Oh, I hear you now.
did you watch the right episode this week?
I'm Mud, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Success.
I watched.
All right.
I watched the android women that are obedient, and Harry Mudd is this grotesque mustache twirling thief.
Literally.
Literally.
Villain.
That might be the best description of him I've ever heard.
And there's some great moments with Kirk where he's like, we can't have everything we ever wanted. We need to be back on that ship. And he's like trying to do all this mental gymnastics, And I kind of thought Uhura was going to go for the immortality.
Well, and there's one scene where she's actually pushing the fact that she's doing that, and it's like a double cross, but obviously it's part of the plan, right? But but she's pretty convincing though. Like out of everybody talking, she's definitely the convincing one for sure.
Yeah, it's not Kirk.
Nichelle Nichols has always been somebody who can act very well. So
yeah, I think they all play their part. But Jeff, like this, I couldn't get over this whole second half where they're fooling the androids. Like when Spock says to he goes to the two whatever Barbaras, he goes, I hate you, but I love you. And they go, that does not logical. We are
illogical, does not compute is basically what's going on.
Identical. He's like, yeah, I hate you because I love you. It's just like
we are the same.
Yeah,
it actually would be logical because if you loved somebody and there was like a million identical duplicates, it would make you hate all the other identical versions. You'd be like, oh my god. So I think it is logical.
I was just cracking up. This whole episode was making me laugh like in the whole back half with this. Just like the play when Scotty dies, and they're like, Scotty died because he had too much happiness.
That was the best part. That was the best part of the episode. He had too much happiness, so now he's dead. Our friend, and they're dancing because they're celebrating captivity.
Yeah.
We're celebrating captivity, and
this entire episode is pretty ridiculous. But compared to some of the other episodes we've reviewed, it's pretty tame. So
it might be the most ridiculous. I don't know. Only the one where
the space hippies.
I don't know. What about that one where the little midget guy was in it?
Yeah, it was.
The Plato's stepchildren.
Plato's stepchildren. Yeah.
That is the only rival to this for the most silly. In terms of like our characters, our main characters.
I don't know what kind of drugs you maters are on, but you can't tell me the space hippie episode isn't the like worst.
But the space hippies is because those are guest stars who are being the hippies, right? Like it's not the main character.
I don't care who they are. It's still a terrible episode. Anyway.
It was cool back in 1960s when hippies were big.
I don't even think it was cool back then. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah, hippies were big back then.
Well, I know that. But
He knows. He was there.
Back then, the hippies were the rage.
I think if I was in the 60s and I was sober, I would be like, what the fuck?
Can you bring up the control room where they controlled the androids?
Oh yes, you mentioned something about this.
Can you bring up that shot?
And I forgot to look for this. Yeah.
It's okay.
From this episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a tie-in that Ted alluded to us on, and I totally forgot about it.
This is I might be way out of base.
Does it have to do with Red Hour?
What am I looking for exactly?
You're looking for when they got into the control room and burned up the guy who was running things.
Okay, let me find it. Jody, lead the conversation for a moment.
I'm the co-host now. Okay, I'm wearing a C today, so maybe that's.
Yeah, you're the captain.
I'm the captain today. All right, he's the admiral. I'm the captain. Okay, I get it. Yeah, like the episode itself, when it comes to the character of Mud, I don't think really the character is all that great. Now, I do know that they planned on having a third appearance by him in the series, which I'm sure Jeff will get into probably in the fun facts. But they acknowledge the fact that he is literally a comedian. Like he is the comedy in this show, and that's not where they wanted to go on the third season. So I think that's one of the reasons why it wasn't. It was a failure. But I can't get over the fact that we have this advanced civilization that can make androids that all look the same and they function well and they have a hive mind, but they can literally be outsmarted by a bunch of assholes off of a starship who literally just don't really do anything hard to make this happen. Like it's like the easiest defeat ever.
Yeah, but the androids are super smart and super capable, and they're from a different galaxy, so there's no, there's reasons. Like they at least explain it. Like they're from Andromeda.
I understand.
that. They're hundreds of thousands of years old or millions of years old. This life form, whatever they are, even if they're different than they originally were, they're super smart because they're like this hive mind, almost like the Borg before the Borg, Dave. Don't you think?
Yeah, a little bit. They're interesting.
Yeah.
They're kind of an interesting, but just the way they talk is the most annoying part about these particular androids.
I agree completely.
But
Harry Mudd wasn't hitting the gym back in
This
1968.
is the control room. So what specifically in the control room do you want me?
I want to see the machine that controls them.
What machine? Like the thing behind them here?
It's a little bit later on. You're going to see the machine.
Okay, one sec. Okay.
Please, Netflix, don't sue.
No, I got.
Please, CBS, don't sue.
I gotta take it off for a second. I can only show stills, not the video.
All right.
I'm not asking. I know, but I need the part where they have the machine.
All right. Well, Dave's finding that. Let's.
Machine.
Jeff, what did you?
The machine
feel...
that controls all those androids.
Let's move on. All right.
Norman controls all the androids.
Norman.
Yeah, but there's a machine there.
We're not going to get past this until you find this damn scene.
I'm looking for it. I'm looking for this thing, whatever it is.
Can you give us a hint here, Ted? Like,
no.
We have to see it.
I gotta see the machine.
Oh,
it's
man.
like a big red thing that lights up. It looks like a little bit of a.
I'm watching this. Okay, Spock's walking in. From
we can't show all this because we'll get sued.
No, I know.
So Jeff,
there's a machine. What? There's a machine that he walks over to.
Okay. This is not
speaking over. There's nothing we can do now.
I gotta tell you, this is not great podcasting.
This is not great podcasting.
Okay, well, find it, Dave. Find it. Keep looking for it.
Well, he's trying to, but you keep talking.
You don't really explain what you're looking. I thought the whole thing in this episode was that Norman was like the high.
Them. I'm looking for the machine that controls them.
Are you talking about the necklaces?
The necklaces?
No.
Well, the necklaces are part of it. Now you got me.
The necklaces are just a part of this whole situation.
What's the other?
Decided.
What's the other part of the situation?
Yeah, if it is, it's very quick and subtle in this episode. I didn't quite get that.
Well,
Are you talking about the part where they're faking the explosion and then the explosion
No,
doesn't?
no. I'm when Spock goes into the control room and he's got this big machine that he's looking at.
Big machine. He's looking at Spock.
It's kind of got all kinds of red lights on it.
Yeah, the lights that go up the thing or whatever that Scotty was originally looking at. That thing that looks like
You're
looks like
talking
a minute.
clear thing.
Yeah, it looks like a miniature building. Kind
Clear
of thing.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's earlier
That's it.
in the episode, right?
All right, we all remember it. So why don't you just give us the answer
okay.
here?
Well, I want you to see it. I want a picture of it up
All
there.
right.
I have it
Are
if
you
you
really-
want it.
I'm looking for it.
Do you have it?
I think
I
I found
did.
it. This thing. Okay, this thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, let him do it. He'll do
Yeah,
it.
he's talking the thing that flashes up. Yeah, that
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Scotty.
right.
Scotty says it's absolutely fantastic. Handwork to the finest tolerances, microvision, and a nanopulse laser. I've never
All right.
seen the like before, he says.
10 minutes of this shit. What is the reason why we're looking at this thing,
Yeah.
Ted?
Why
Yeah,
is that so
yeah.
okay,
You're not
now
going to
you
get that.
know
You're
its
not going to get
destination.
that till next week.
Oh,
What?
You're
for
not
Why
going
is
to
that
get it till
important?
next week.
All that, and now you're not going to tell me
all
why
that
I had
for
to look
10
this up?
fucking minutes, and we're not even going to have an answer?
No, yeah, you're going to have to watch next week. This is
What
even
next
better.
week? Like what? Because this
What?
thing's
Yes,
coming back.
He's got
No, we
another.
got another episode next week, and this is
I know, but
gonna
you're gonna be like
decide-
this prop is coming back, and this will be the connection
Yes.
to the next. It's
It is not, is it?
there's like this-
It's coming back, baby.
There's a logic to what.
I don't see Dave looking like he's died very often, but he just did just a second ago. he's like, seriously, Dad? Come on!
Oh yeah, this is big. This is big. This is breaking news.
Oh, it's breaking news. Yes.
You should go work for the Trump administration.
So, what's the name
Breaking
of this
news.
planet they're on, Dave?
The planet they're
This is,
on.
fake news.
I'd have to look that up.
All right, let's just. Shall we move on?
Jody, do you know what planet this is?
The planet that they're on? I don't
Yeah.
know, but I can probably find out pretty quick.
Mudhaven?
Well, yeah, he gives it a
Well,
name, doesn't
that's
he?
what he dubbed it, but that's not the actual planet name.
He's Mud the First.
He's just Mud the First, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they name this place, do they?
Well, it must have a name.
I'm not sure. They talk about Deb, which is the home of the Danebian Slime Devils, prominent baseball team.
It doesn't look like.
It says enters orbit around an uncharted planet.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So it's no name.
yeah.
Nameless.
It's just a Class K planet.
But okay, here's my question: in these two appearances where Harry Mudd shows up, and he usually causes the problem, but then he works with Kirk and the crew to sort of solve the problem, right? And then there's sort of this like lovable animosity, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it, between Kirk and Harry Mudd. He kind of like somebody knows he has to put him in jail or something, right? So
Well, they don't even really explain how he got out of jail, did they? They just kind of said he left.
he got out, and then he made it some deal, and then that deal led to something else, and then led to something else, and then he ended up, here somehow. He fell into this. But
Yeah.
what is Harry Mudd? Is Harry Mudd somebody who you wish had been in more episodes of Star Trek, Dad?
I'll reserve. Ted, stay with us.
It's called the Andromeda Galaxy. That's where this planet came from. You guys got that?
We got
Yeah,
it.
we
Ted.
got it.
We got it.
I heard it today.
I'm on board.
It's
We're
the
all
same
on board.
Well, I'm
galaxy
trying to
as
do some
Anar.
research for you
Yeah,
because you're a little bit off the mark tonight.
No, but I asked you. I'm off the mark. Okay. But do you wish Harry Mudd had been in more episodes?
No, two's enough. Two's enough.
2 was enough. 2 out of the 70. Yeah,
I wish that
79.
the guy who dressed up like the kid, the little baby guy who had the scary monster, I
Yeah,
wish he was
Howard?
in about 5 episodes.
Which Clint Howard had. Well, Clint Howard is kind of in 5 episodes because he comes back in a whole bunch of Star Trek other episodes.
Oh yeah, but not in this
Yeah.
episode, not in
no,
this series.
no. When he grew up, he was.
Yeah.
But
Did you guys find it funny that Chekhov was like, he was out on the planet and he was like in the throne and he was talking to the girls? He's like, you'll do anything. They were fully functional, kind of same
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Harry
Data
Mudd
said.
programmed you.
And then, yeah, Harry Mudd. And then we don't see Chekhov the rest of the episode. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and Sulu
Oh,
isn't in this episode at all.
He's in the dancing part, but he's for the most part not with them.
Sulu was
You
there
know.
at the beginning. He was there when the ship was getting taken over.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But he's explicitly not invited to come down to the planet.
Well, he's Sulu.
And then even
Sulu.
though they beam all the crew down,
Right.
Sulu is not among them.
Right. They wanted to study humans, but they left one of the humans and brought a Vulcan instead.
Well, they can't have them all.
Why would
Why
they bring
not?
the Vulcan?
Where were the other 400 crew members on the ship? Why weren't there? We didn't see
So
them.
Yeah,
the only
yeah.
thing I can think of was Sulu around in the first episode with
Well, he's
Mudd?
around in the beginning of this one.
No, but if Mudd doesn't know who he is, then why would he request him?
I think he was around when Mudd was around the first time.
Oh, okay. Well,
Pretty
either
sure.
way, it's a show from ages ago and whatever.
True.
No, well, that's true.
That's really what it comes down to. Let's not analyze it too far. To answer your question, though, Dave, even though you haven't asked me, no, I don't want Mudd in any more episodes. I'm good.
Okay, you're good. You had your quota.
I didn't even need the ones I got. Let's put it that way.
Not your favorite character.
Do not like him at all. Don't need to.
You don't like Harry Mudd?
Jeff, do you think that do you know that Discovery Harry Mudd?
Yes, Rainn Wilson, which I think Danny McBride would have been a better casting choice.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, if you wanted to match the original series,
Yeah.
Danny McBride would be a very good choice. Yeah.
But do you think that this version of Harry Mudd resembles this version of Harry Mudd at all?
Not really. If he had
Oh.
a mustache, if he just had the mustache, he might.
Hey Jeff, what about the guy from Stranger Things, the sheriff?
Oh yeah, he'd be good too. Yeah,
David
he would have
Harbour?
been good. Yeah.
David Harbour.
What's his name?
David Harbour.
David Harbour. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be good. But he looks a lot like Rainn Wilson too. I guess Rainn
Sure.
Wilson was a good choice. I just don't know if they. I think he's older than Harry Mudd, like the actor who played Harry Mudd in the original series. Yet this is Discovery takes place before the original series, so it's kind of. I feel like Harry Mudd should be younger.
Yeah. This version, I don't think that they're very similar at all in character or in look. But other than Stella's there, and he doesn't like Stella. That's about the only similarity. But I don't feel like this Harry Mudd version is ever super dangerous. Like I don't feel like he's like
Yeah.
he's out. He's like more like a Quark to me. He's supposed to be like he's almost like the proto Quark in some ways. And then but then this
Not as deep though.
right. But the Rainn Wilson version is much more like like a criminal, like straight up, right? Like just not a good dude.
The biggest problem I have with this episode, really, other than the repulsive way it ends, but the episode itself is just it's a lot of stupid talk. Like there's a lot of dumb dialogue in this episode, and I find especially the interactions between Kirk and Mudd, the dialogue just doesn't suit the characters. Like to me, it's almost like you're watching a farce version of it. And it's like, even the way like Kirk's talking, like this is second season. Like this is hardcore Kirk now. This isn't goofy Kirk. This is a pretty, serious Kirk for the most part, but he does goof around. But just the dialogue, it doesn't sit with me. I don't know why.
It's not just the dialogue; it's the way they're acting, right? Like they're acting kind of like they're doing improv night in their acting class, right? And
Well,
so
let's be clear though. Shatner, this is not uncommon for him. But the thing that bothers me is like, out of all the acting that was going on, I think Uhura was probably the one that was probably one of the more authentic ones when compared to everybody else. Like, and Bones for sure. Bones was spot on like he always is, but All the other characters, like even like Chekhov being probably one of the worst ones. Like Chekhov, I've never really seen him like the way they show him in this episode. You know what I mean? Like it's
What
just
do you mean? No.
just kind of like number one, the whole womanizer kind of thing. Just it didn't sit right with me. Like I always look at him as kind of a wholesome dude, where he's clearly like hey, can I bang you? Like that's literally where he's going with it, right? He's like, are you actually like? Can I really do what I need to do with you? Like that's kind of how you're kind of getting his question going, and it's like that's not Chekhov to me. Like Chekhov's kind of a more wholesome kind of kind of guy to me, but anyway, it just doesn't sit well with me. The whole episode just kind of so
Okay, all right, yeah, and I don't know, this one is just the most ridiculous episode, for better or worse. Like I think that this is like I think I enjoyed this overall, although I understand what you're saying, Jody, too. I think that this sort of pest character to the ship is interesting a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think maybe 2 episodes was exactly how many he needed. Plus,
well, if they made him a daily, like a reoccurring character, like a couple, like a Q type character where he like shows up for like 3 episodes a season, you definitely wouldn't want to see him anymore. Like he doesn't have that type of charisma. You know what I mean? So it's
had your fill. If you hadn't already.
I had my fill with the first episode that we had to watch with him, and when I had to watch the second one, I definitely was done with him at that point.
The ending of this episode is the one I want to talk about. So basically, he's left on this planet with the android of his wife, basically.
This is his wife? Oh, I thought it was his mother. It's his wife?
No, it's his wife.
It's his wife? Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's an android version of her, but yeah.
Would this qualify as cruel and unusual punishment?
Oh, this would definitely wouldn't be sanctioned. Like this would. This there has to be something in the Geneva Convention about this.
Yeah, like
this is not right.
Yeah, Muds, it's inhumane. It's inhumane.
Like this is way worse than being in like a Federation prison. Like that it must be.
Oh well, but I feel like the whole crew was like, you almost got us like marooned. You almost had the entire human race taken over. Screw you, we're out of here. It was kind of like, this is what we think is fine.
But I think that's the reason why I didn't like the episode, was because I never really felt like anybody was in danger. Like nobody was really in danger. Like yeah, they were goofing around with mud, but like the ship was still there. It's not like it got took off and anything like that. Like
they should have made the robots seem like more of a threat, I think.
Yes. Not as wholesome. Yeah.
Yeah, raise those stakes on the robot a bit.
Like the only one that actually you thought was an issue was the main guy, like the guy in the gray with the the big huge package that I got to see all the time. Yeah, Norman. Norman was the only one that I thought was even kind of sinister, and even then, like, like I guess the threat just wasn't there.
The package was distracting.
The package was distracting. Yes, I agree with you, Dave, for sure.
Yeah, but it was.
You don't need to cue that up, Dave. Even though I know you're thinking of it.
No, I know. Everyone who watches this knows what I'm talking about. So it's.
Bravo for him, but in reality, I don't need to see it.
Yeah, just some of these outfits sometimes on the series.
Yeah.
Right, but like this. Basically, the final line here says that he's left with 500 copies of his wife Stella, who is not his favorite person. And he cries out to Kirk, begging to leave the planet. And Kirk and the crew just say, "See you later, Harry. Have fun." And they continue on their mission. That is the end of Harry Mudd's story.
And that's when we finally decided that the original Enterprise crew is really a bunch of jerks. Like they really are. Like that's the worst punishment ever.
Right. But there's a good chance.
Hardcore Fenton Mudd.
Well, there's going to be some hardcore going on, but I don't know if he's going to like it.
Fenton Mudd, thief.
Oh, come now.
Swindler and con man.
Entrepreneur.
Liar and rogue.
Did I leave you with that impression?
Belongs in jail, which is where I thought I left you, Mudd.
And thereby hangs the tale.
I like the way he delivers those lines, the Harry Mudd. It's well done.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Entrepreneur.
His rebuttals were nice. Yeah. And actually, that scene was pretty good. I did like that scene.
Harry Mudd.
Loves Harry Mudd. He likes even saying it. He's like Harry Mudd.
Harcourt Fenton Mudd.
Harcourt Fenton Mudd. Yeah, full name. Okay, fun facts, Jeff. Do you have some fun facts for us?
I do.
Jeff always has fun facts. He carries them with him. He has
gotta
fun
create
facts for everything.
I got to create a jingle, but we're working on it. It's a work in progress.
Fun facts with Jeff.
I recruit wives for settlers. A difficult but satisfying task.
Do you like that as a jingle?
No,
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I think mine was better.
During the filming, Gene Roddenberry was in a panic because he needed at least 2 female identical twins and couldn't find any. Then one night while driving home, he saw Alice Adresk and Ray Adresky, I don't know, walking down a street. Roddenberry literally pulled up beside them, jumped out of his car, and told them that they were going to be on television. There you go.
I wonder how many times he used that line.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies, want to be on television?
Yeah. According to Walter Koenig, NBC considered making a Harry Mudd spin-off show after the success of I, Mudd. They assigned Gene Roddenberry to develop the idea, but being busy with Star Trek and other projects, he didn't feel he had the time for it, and the series was never conceived.
Good. Thank God. We might have had to review that. Imagine that. That would have been terrible.
Well, here's something else we might have had to have reviewed, but didn't. A 3rd season appearance of Harry Mudd was planned, but axed due to the producer's desires to move away from comedy episodes. However, Roger C. Carmel would reprise the role of Mudd as a cartoon voice in Star Trek, the animated series, Mudd's Passion. Mudd was considered for return during the Star Trek movies in the 1980s, but Carmel's failing health nixed that.
You know what? Harry Mudd might have made the first Star Trek movie better.
Yeah, he could have made it worse.
Yeah, anything would have made that movie better.
Yeah.
He would have been good in Star Trek 5 because that also could have used some Harry Mudd.
Something
a little different. This episode marks George Takei's last appearance in the series until Star Trek Return to Tomorrow. During his 9-episode absence, Takei was on the East Coast filming The Green Berets.
Yeah.
That's
a great movie.
That's why I didn't get invited.
Invited to what?
Because they said, we are inviting your science officer, your medical officer, your navigator, your communications officer, your engineer, or whatever. No, it wasn't the engineer. He wasn't invited.
Everybody but Sulu, because you have to go make
everybody but Sulu gets to come.
What did you guys think of the moment where Norman like lifts up his shirt and then you see like the circuitry? And if you look at the original effect of it, it looks like literally just a bunch of tangled wires.
Yeah.
Like, the original effect. It's pretty great.
Yeah, the Netflix one, you can tell they've kind of green screened in a CG piece.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Much better than the original. Yeah, like I don't know, like it's fine. I think it's fine to enhance that effect. But
I think it was something that was kind of good to show the audience, because when the audience sees this, then they know, he's an android.
How we'll show he's an android. We'll just show his circuitries underneath.
Well, it worked for Data. Let's be honest. How many times did they use that head prop?
Exactly.
A lot better.
Yeah.
Than I did.
Well, you're talking 30 years difference, Dave.
20.
20.
Oh, no,
yeah,
the CG. The CG, yeah, I guess. But yeah.
Okay, so with the exception of those actors who played members of the Enterprise crew, Roger C. Carmel was the only actor to play the same character in more than one episode of Star Trek, the original series. So there you go.
Yeah, they
That
brought back
doesn't seem
brought
right.
back certain actors. Well, yeah, that's right, because like Mark Leonard he played the Ron.
Oh, that's true. He only did it once. Yeah.
There was a bunch. That guy who played Landrew he played some other guy at some point. So
There was never 2 Khan episodes, only 1 Khan episode.
Only 1 con episode. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, makes sense.
Okay, David Gerald did an uncredited rewrite on this episode. One of the significant changes he made at Gene L. Kuhn's request was to get the crew on the planet. Was to get the crew onto the planet by the end of the first act. Other notable contributions were the gag of the 500 identical female robots and more material relating to Stella. Kuhn offered to submit the script for arbitration so that Gerald would receive credit and residuals. However, Gerald declined as he felt it would be stealing from Stephen Candell, who had created Harry Mudd. All right.
Rights issues.
I think we had enough Stella. I think that's fine.
Stella!
I don't think I wanted to see any more Stella.
The piece of equipment found in Norman's lab and workshop would be recycled for future episodes, appearing in the corridors of
No, you can't tell us. You're giving away Dad's thing.
Oh, it's up now.
What is?
You just wrecked your dad's thing.
Because that whole thing he made us look at was all about like what episode.
It was all about what you just talked about.
And that's what you're.
Well, my point was that it was shown in this Andromeda Galaxy, middle of nowhere, and the next time it's shown, it's part of the equipment on the Enterprise. What the hell's going on here?
Well, they stole it.
Okay, well,
they stole it.
It doesn't
Or he
say.
made it known.
It doesn't say what episode, but it does say that yes, it was.
Well, it's going to be next week's episode, Obsession. You're going to see it.
Okay.
In next week's episode, Obsession.
It's going to be in Dr. McCoy's lab, right?
I think somebody's got an obsession.
No.
It's going to be on the Enterprise. I want to know how that equipment got from there to the Enterprise.
They stole it. There you go. I've made that canon.
Grand Theft Auto.
Right. The title, referring to the absurd king of the robots, spoofs the Robert Graves novel I, Claudius, which is about an absurd Roman potentate.
All right, one more fact, Jeff. We got to get moving here.
Got to pick the best one.
At approximately 5 minutes and 35 seconds, this episode's teaser is the longest in the original series.
Oh, I believe that because I'm like, when the hell is the credits going to show? I remember specifically watching it and thinking that.
Let's rate this episode. Dad, you've already given it away. Obsession will be the next episode. I don't know it, but let's rate this episode first. I'm going to give this episode a, like a 8.2. I think it's pretty good. Jeff,
I'd say about 6.7 for me.
Dad,
I would go about a 7.1.
7.1, and Jody.
You guys are all on crack. I'm going to go with a 5. I will gladly bring down the average.
Yeah, which that averages us out at 6.8 for this episode. So, and that it has a 7.4 on IMDb, so we're below that. This is below our average overall, which is 7.2. So this was okay.
So.
Adam's not here this week to cover this with us, but maybe he'll chime in.
He's still trying.
Yeah,
he's still traveling.
Still traveling. But Dad, we're doing this episode Obsession next. I'm just gonna quickly see if I can find anything about it.
13th episode of the second season.
Obsession. Yes, good episode.
And it's with the Dicronium's cloud or something. Okay, I don't really know this episode, so this is interesting. Okay, so we're gonna be doing that next. And we are at 8:00, so we do need to wrap this up. So I do want to thank everyone tonight for being on the panel. Jody, Jeff, Dad, great contributions and all. Just to plug everything else we do here on Live Long and Podcast very quickly. We have Deep Space Nine. We have our rewatch series. We're into the second season. We just did Rules of Acquisition last night, which is the 7th episode of the second season. We'll be continuing that for the next couple of years. So join us while we're new and we're heading up to the really good episodes. We do this original series podcast here on Wednesdays, of course, which you just listened to. And then on Thursdays, we just finished up Star Trek Lower Decks, where we did the first season, and we did a whole we also did a whole wrap-up episode for that at the end. We're going to be doing Star Trek Discovery tomorrow night. I'll be here with Jane, my wife, and Michael Chan to talk all about that. And this weekend, we will have Star Trek Radio Theater, as we will have on Saturday night. We have Star Trek Voyagers in the flesh, as we'll have our friend Tom Mott Tyrell playing the role of Captain Catherine Janeway. And if that's not enough to sell you, I don't know what is. So make sure to check that out if you like some.
Well, Kevin as Boothby is pretty good too.
Yeah, the Boothby. Well, yeah, we got a great cast.
Grumpy Boothby. And Kevin
Yeah.
Millard's doing it. That'll be
Yeah,
easy.
We got it. This is going to be packed with fun. So it's going to be a hoot. It's going to be more like this episode of I Mud. And also we have our other channel, which is Super Mater Brothers Podcasting, where Jeff and I and Jaemeel cover Big Brother USA 22 3 times a week. Tonight is our veto episode. We will be back tonight to cover that episode, and tomorrow Jeff and Jaemeel will be doing the eviction episode, as I'll be overdoing Discovery with Jane and Michael Chan. So check that out, and our other channel, Trivial Debates, where we argue about movies, sports, TV, and more, which we do at the end of every month. So thanks, everybody. And
Is that this week?
no, it's not until the end of October, so it's not until Halloween. Or actually, it will be not this Sunday, but next Sunday. So I got to start planning Trivial Debates. So thanks, everybody, and